Greetings and welcome to my dear Taurians out there. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will. Now, there is a stellium in Taurus for the month of April 2023 that is going to be activating essentially your ascendant. Things come to mind. There's a beautiful sort of way of approaching your desires and making things happen by the power of the mind. This is a very particular placement. It actually is activating the 12th house also, potentially, depending on wherein you are activating the sort of first 10 degrees of Taurus, at least according to this chart. Now, this chart is generated in the 6th of April, and on the 6th of April, and essentially it is showing us a stellium in Taurus that encompasses, according to ascendant degrees, 3, 5, 17, 24, Mercury, the North Node, in conjunction, plus Uranus and your ascendant in conjunction, and Uranus and Venus closely conjunct. So this stellium essentially it brings forward quite a bit in terms of your auric capacity. That is your aura and your self-representation. Often when you approach people during this time period, there will be a lot in terms of really bringing forward and manifesting through the power of the mind and the power of the North Node, anything that would reveal itself in terms of that. There also is the Sun and Jupiter casting its light and its grace and its blessings from your 12th house, the mystical house of Aries, into the 6th house where the full moon in Libra is being activated on the 6th of this month. Now, it's very particular in that, for one thing, a lot of magic will be happening, and this can actually also sort of balance out your work life in a way. Balance out your work life, and essentially you will be gifted from the 12th house. With the Sun conjunct Jupiter, Jupiter's blessings becomes a bit combust. But then there is the possibility of some deep and sort of abstract versions of the mystical path, as well as faith, that you can be inspired to do something in terms of that, in terms of the solar energy that is present with Jupiter, conjunct Jupiter in Aries in your 12th, okay? Now this will essentially potentially bring obstacles. There could be some sort of darker energy with the 12th house Sun. It's not a very nice placement, but because it's in Aries, there certainly is something about the path of the mystic that is very much aspired to here. You're going to be glowing in this month, and also there is a possibility from a solar perspective in the Western lens to make quite a bit of wealth during this time period. Now, Taurus has been really under duress with the North Node and Uranus dancing around in conjunction for some time. That conjunction is certainly sort of splitting by at least 10 to 11 degrees, so that's quite an elation. There's more stability coming about you on a physical level as well on an auric level, or in terms of yourself, your truer self. And in terms of the ascendant, there's a possibility of elation, relaxation, sensuality, pleasure. In terms of the mind, there's something about the mind that will very much be desired. You might manifest people who are more intellectually inclined, for one thing. There also is a possibility of, I don't know, you looking like a hot mess, and in that hot mess there is a lot that has to do with the sort of capacity for Taurus to be a hot mess right now. I think I mean that in the most sincere kind of ways. There's a lot that has to do with your friend circle, especially dreamers, that are going to be affecting you with the 11th house placement of Pisces, Neptune. 25 degrees in Pisces in your 11th, you're going to be gifted with something in terms of the beauty that you are presenting on a physical level. It could also affect your 2nd house, in which there is a gateway or a possibility with the 11 energy to access something in terms of wealth, opening new doors, new opportunities coming to you in terms of some form of collective wealth, also being gifted from your friends or from your colleagues, from humanity in general, and I think it'll be very positive in terms of that. Now, there's a kite formation as well as a holy triangle that is activating your 3rd 7th and 11th houses. Now, these are the comma houses, and Mars, Saturn, and excuse me, the South Node are going to be creating this, meaning that there's something about karmas that are tied to relationships that are going to provide elation at the same time activate another triangle, a square rather, and this square will be also activating some of the desires of bringing in people who are of a higher mind or something like that, challenging you through these relationships that you may develop with them in April that actually might come into contention with some of the karmas that you're trying to clear out. There is a need to essentially address Saturn's presence, which is activating your first and almost your second house from Pluto to Saturn. So essentially, what I see here is a jump through the Aquarian age in your MC and dealing with karmas, okay, that are directly linked to this a transformation, primarily a transformation of people that you meet, that you encounter, that might be karmic in nature, okay? So it's very strange because it will be instantaneous karma. It's something where like you meet these people and then instantaneously they arouse you in a certain way on an intellectual capacity, they impart to you some type of message, and then they're gone. This is a possibility. If they stick around, there's also a possibility of great wealth in terms of your own need for freedom. But your desires are going to be manifesting like crazy because of the North Node and Uranus being here. They're not the most stable of desires in conjunction, but because that conjunction is loosening up between these two agents, there's a possibility to come to mind of a sense of value or a sense of beauty in it all and be rewarded through friends and also through people who are going to similar changes in terms of the movement from Capricorn to Aquarius in your 9th and 10th houses. So all in all, looking like a very positive month in terms of change, new relationships, possibility to clear out certain karmas, to be gifted with the full moon in terms of your work, and also the mystical path, being gifted with purity in terms of getting rid or balancing out certain things about your workplace, about your everyday rituals. And essentially, this will gift you with some sort of auric field that will produce the effect of quite a bit of beauty in terms of what you attract, in terms of what kind of gravity you have. The thing is that the people that you do attract will essentially, um, it may or may not be ultimately a very good thing for you. It really depends on how you play it. Really, the desires are very strong right now for Taurus to get some form of stability in terms of relationships. But at the same time, these relations may have a karmic signature. If this is the case, there's a possibility to really find independence and also a way into some form of self-realization where you can balance out your mind by opposing such people. Okay, so it's a very interesting, tricky month. My advice would be primarily to work with friends. Friends are going to be a source of uh, a lot of harmony for your actual collective ambition, which is something of an abstract thing to you. There's a lot of abstract things that are occurring in your 11th house, in the energy of Pisces Saturn being there, as well as Neptune. There's a possibility of being rewarded in some sort of way in what you truly value within yourself, okay, to find the sense of stability. But because Uranus is still very much on your ascendant, you're still quite a bit of hot mess for this month. That's all I can tell you for now. This is Ron from Tarot the Twin Sun signing off. Thank you.